Negative keywords, this is often confusing. Well, don't you have all the match types from negative keywords? No, there's only broad match negative keywords and exact match negative keywords. So your negative keyword, here, let me just go to the next slide. Let's skip to here because this is really the best example. So let's say, I'm doing Google ads for a pizza, a pizza company or pizza business. And someone searches, let's say Joe's Pizza Huntington Beach, but I'm Mark's Pizza in Huntington Beach. And so if someone's searching for my competitor, I don't really want my ads to show because I have a very limited budget, and they might be searching for my competitor because maybe they're looking for his phone number. Maybe they just really like his pizza. There's lots of different reasons why they might be searching. And I know I've got a very limited budget, and I don't want to waste money on someone who might already have, a pizza place in mind. What I want to look for is people that don't have, a brand or a company or a business that they like to work with. And so for every single ad campaign I do, and lots of, my customers are actually on this right now. For all of you guys, I add all of your competition as negative keywords because I don't want to waste your budgets with someone who's looking for a competitor, because typically what you'll find is if you don't block those searches, you're going to start getting calls for people that are looking for your competitor, and they clicked on your ad thinking it was that company. And then they call and they find out, oh, I've got the wrong company. So if you are running a Google Ads campaign and you've ever got a call for someone looking for your competition, well, now you know why. And that's why I highly recommend having your competitors' business names as negative keywords. This can be very difficult though, because lots of companies are called like Executive Limo, like San Diego, or Executive Limo Los Angeles. And so, it's really hard to get a negative keyword out of that. You kind of have to just block the whole, phrase like Executive Limo Los Angeles. And you might not even want to do that. You really probably only want to do it if it's a huge competitor and lots of people are searching for their name. But let's just say your competition's name is something that's not as generic. And let's say it's, the name of a guy's name. So Joe. If I see Joe's Pizza Huntington Beach on my search query report, my search term report, what I want to do is I actually want to add Joe's as a negative keyword, but I also want to add the apostrophe S. I would probably also add Joe. So I would have Joe's with the apostrophe, and then I would just add Joe as well, because they just might search Joe Pizza Huntington Beach. And so very important to add your competitors on your negative keyword list. Now, the only time I wouldn't do this is if you're in a really small city, and there's just not a lot of people searching for your, service, then you might not want to do that. But I would say 95% of the time you do want to do that, because you'll end up just wasting a lot of money for people that might be looking for your competitor's phone number because they already booked. So we don't want to waste money on that. And there it is right there. Add your competitors to your negative keyword list, because many times they have already booked with them and they're just looking for their phone number. And then again, I say, remember, this is most of the time, if you're in a small enough city, you might need to actually go after those people as well. So this is probably the most valuable piece of this whole training here, is these next few slides about negative keywords, because if you have the right negative keywords, it can literally save you tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've got clients who spent over $1 million on Google ads. And so if you can eliminate, tire kickers, people that are looking for companies in another city, people that are looking for your competitors, you can save so much money. And look, it's not about saving money, but it's about that money you save can be reallocated to getting more of the right people clicking on your ads. And so just Google negative keyword list, because there's several sites that actually have really good lists, and it's a starting point. It's definitely not all you need. And I'm going to go over what you need for limo companies in the next few slides. Number one, who, what, when, where, why, can, will, how. Those are all words I typically add to my negative keyword list, because typically those are people asking questions. And so they're not always the best. You don't always want to put your ad in front of someone that's, in research mode. You want someone who is in buy mode now. Now, again, if you're in a small market, you might have to not have these on your negative keyword list. For instance, if someone searches how much is a party bus rental, now that person is probably, there's a good chance they might end up booking with someone, but they're technically they're still in research mode. So if you're in a huge city and you have a small budget, you definitely want to add who, what, when, where, why, how as negative keywords. But if you're in a small city and you have, let's say, $40, $50 a day budget, you probably don't want to add those, because you want to try to capture everyone that you can. So these things I just learned over the years. So city names is a huge one. You really want to add any city that isn't within 300 to 500 miles from you on your negative keyword list. Here's why. Someone will search, just like that example I gave at the very beginning of this. If someone searches Miami airport car service and they're in Chicago, unfortunately, Google will oftentimes show local Chicago companies if no one has used the negative keyword Miami or MIA, which is the Miami airport code. I know airport codes really well after doing this so long. If those companies don't have Miami on their negative keyword list, then there's a chance that their ads will show. And I just actually had this happen the other day where I realized a new client didn't have location negatives added to their campaign. And I said, okay, that can't happen, because it does have 20% of your searches or more will be people that are searching for your service in other cities. This is especially true for the limo industry, right? Because you get people that are flying all over the place and they're looking for transportation at their destination, but they're searching from one city for a service in another. So if you do like home services, like plumbers, electricians, not so much of an issue, but for this industry, that's a huge issue. So airport names and codes. Like if I have a client in LA, I'm going to add JFK, LGA, LaGuardia, because LaGuardia, some people search LGA, some people search LaGuardia. So you really want to have both as negative keywords. And just think about it, really any major airport in the US you want as a negative keyword. But if you're in LA, you obviously don't want LAX, you don't want Long Beach, LGB, you don't want Orange County, SNA. You don't want those as negatives, right? Because you're in that area, you service those airports, but you do want any airport that's outside of your area. Now, if someone is searching Los Angeles to Las Vegas car service, you don't want Las Vegas as a negative keyword, right? If you're in LA, because if you go there, you don't want it as a negative keyword. But you could probably add Denver, because there's not many people that are going to search LAX to Denver car service. And so important to remember that. City names, airport names, and codes. And if you get all of those, the common negatives, the questions, airport names and codes, and cities, you are going to be blocking most of the irrelevant traffic, and it will save you lots and lots of money. It is worth the time investment to spend several hours building this list, because your campaign will be that much better for it.